We are Art of War,
and we believe in creating a community where people can talk about, learn, and improve their skills at Warhammer 40K.
Our channel has live stream competitive matches of 40K, played by the best players in the world.
And we focus on teaching you how to get better at Warhammer, while also emphasizing sportsmanship and engagement with our audience.
We strive to play every faction in the game to a top level, while also using a variety of lists to show off different playstyles for every faction.
We also offer a variety of other videos such as codex reviews, faction rankings, and tactics videos.
When you join our channel, you become part of our community, where we emphasize learning and positive conversation about competitive 40K.
You get early access to our videos, sub badges, emotes, as well as rewatch those hangout and hobby sessions.
Joining our community is a great way for you to show your support for us, so we can keep making awesome videos for you and continuously expand the bounds of competitive 40K.
Okay. How about that? I think I got it to work. I think I got it working. Let me see if that worked. All right. There should be a 30-second delay.
You fix it?
I think so.
Mr. Siegel, the robot man himself, fixing the streams.
Let's see if people can message us back and say it's working.
Aha.
And then we can tell them all about Drukhari.
I'm gonna create a whole narrative about how you fought off a demon in the tech priest room.
In the tech priest room?
Yeah.
It's working loud and clear?
We did it.
I am in fact God.
See, Mr.
God the
Siegs,
Savior.
a bloodthirster literally opened up in the stream room right here, and Siegs, the little tech priest that he is, fought him off with his wrench, with his tentacles, fixing the
Primaris Tech Marine. I had the Machina Mortis.
And I
Flat 3
watched
damage.
the whole thing. It was amazing.
That's how you do it.
And the data spike got him.
Data spike. Well,
2d6.
he's got to be a vehicle now. It's just D3.
Oh no.
It's okay. However, we are back. Praise the machine god. The Omnissiah does indeed protect. So let's start off back where we started.
Kyle Norman,
Wonderful super chat from Kyle Norman, $10. Thank you so much, Kyle. You are an absolute hero of this channel. Really appreciate your support. And he asks, what are your guys' thoughts on Drukhari only winning one GT this weekend? So let's see if Nick can reiterate his completely wrong analysis, and then I can come in with the awesome.
No, I'm just gonna
Second
skip.
take.
I'm gonna skip the wrong part.
Oh, come on.
It's better
That was so good.
I had a whole thing, but then Stiegs changed the knowledge.
I dropped a knowledge, Peter
dropped-
the Falcon sponsored knowledge bomb on Nick.
Yeah, it was a knowledge bomb, and I couldn't do it. So, anyways, the Drukhari are still really good. There are ways you can like adapt to them. So maybe we're starting to see that. Like some people are doing that, but like mathematically, they still win a lot of the same games they did before. They dropped a whole %, which is not insignificant, actually. Like
They went from 70 to 69%.
a % amongst all of these games is actually like a lot. That's like a lot, you know. Like you don't shift whole % much. That's significant. So that's cool. It's not as much as like 10%. That'd be really telling. But you know, it's not insignificant. It's the right direction. That's important. But yeah, no, Drukhari is still really good. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Let's see. Talk about the new AdMech. We did, in fact, finally get a preview on the new AdMech rules, starting with the Forge Worlds being updated. And honestly, I think we still have to wait to see the overall context. So Mars giving out the canonical benefit to Skitarii units. What exactly are the new canonicals? What are the Skitarii units getting? What of the doctrinas? So we'll see what those exact rules are. But Mars looks strong. Ryza if you're going for melee. Agrippina if you're going for the Cataphrons.
Agrippina.
Yep, Agrippina.
I never even knew that was one of them.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
That's the one
do.
that
That's the one. With the,
You can bring back a
you
unit
can bring back the people
for now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now it's going to be adding a toughness. So bring up to toughness 6 Cataphrons, which if they have a 3-up armor,
And they're
going
not
to a 2-up
vehicles
armor,
either, right?
that means they'll have a 1-up in cover.
It's the haywire doesn't work against them.
Yeah, they're not vehicles.
They look like vehicles. They're infantry. They don't have legs.
They go right.
They don't have legs.
They go right through ruins, no problem.
No.
Don't question it. I also really like Metallica. Metallica is very interesting as well.
You just like the reroll wounds.
Unfortunately, the relics they showed off are still crap. So they're just a bunch of melee. And the Metallica one stayed as 1 attack with this flat 3 damage, the ×3 strength, adamantium servo arm.
Use the adamantium servo.
It's like, can we please just get an actual relic here?
You have one.
Thankfully, Metallica have.
You have like 5 warlord traits for each warlord trait. You know that?
Well, who knows if those Holy Order ones survive?
Well, I hope they don't.
I hope
Exploding
they do.
6s across your whole army shooting phase. What were they thinking?
It's a 6-inch order. It's very reasonable.
Very reasonable.
No, AdMech should have a. They need an aura of ignore cover. That's what they need. I'll trade that.
Sisters monofaction rule is exploding 6s in close combat. And you're like, let me just take it as a warlord trait on my shooting, in my shooting army.
Yep.
Okay.
And AdMech still don't win every game because of that. They nerfed it. Remember, you could take 2 different ones?
I know. I mean, AdMech don't win every game, but they win a lot of them.
They win a good amount of games.
They're a good army.
If you want to hear about AdMech winning, check out the latest Art of War podcast where I interviewed Mark Hertel on AdMech on his Stygies list.
Look at that.
And part 1 is actually on our YouTube channel right now.
Beautiful. So you could watch that while watching this and get Art of War Inception going on. Listen to Siegs while you listen to Siegs.
The Red Axe is great. It's an okay relic, but like I don't want my Tech Priests in melee. I want auras that buff my army.
You know what I was thinking? The Dark Eldar thingy that it, like turns off auras. I feel like this is underexplored. I really do.
I've been using the AdMech turn off auras.
How do you like it? Is that
It
good?
turns off defensive auras. Effectively. You have to really move block people if you want to turn off offensive ones. Which is possible in the six flyer build. I actually pinned Jack in and then turned off all his auras. Into his deployments. With the 6 flyers.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, well, I can't play the mission for at least 2 more turns. So I was like, all right, I'm going to run away with it.
Did you win that game?
Yeah, I won.
Oh, nice. Because it looked like you were getting like tabled.
I was.
But you just won the mission.
He couldn't get out of his deployment zone. Looks like John won a GT with that autocannon Dark Elder tech. Not shocking at all. The Ultramarines did pull out a GT win very impressively. John ended up beating Drukhari in the final round with his Ultramarines.
John's a wizard with this stuff. He shoots you and your models just die. It sucks. Like a lot of times when people shoot me, I don't just die. When John shoots me, I'm just dying. There's no questions being asked about this. I don't like that. Drop it.
You like building them?
Not good at that either. But that's what you're here for. That's you come.
I think it's attempting to build today. So this is going to be a wild event.
We just dropped the whole flavors crawler kit. And then we also got the miasmic malignifier. This guy. He's my secret tech that I hope I can deploy. I like him.
Nick's going to try and run a fortification for 2 seconds until he realizes he can't deploy it anywhere useful.
I'm going to deploy it.
The literal back corner.
I'm going to set up a stream game where I can deploy it exactly where I want it. Then everyone will see.
It's a great practice.
Miasmic malignifier new meta. It's really good.
What does it actually do?
It doesn't do much. But
it takes up a fortification.
It does something that's important for Death Guard, which is it can infiltrate. It can like advance deploy, whatever that rule is called. Like outside your deployment zone, 12 inches from the enemy deployment zone. Still 3 inches away from terrain, which is why I'm skeptical about it. But like what it does is it infiltrates. It's really tough to kill. It's like tough to say. It's like 12 wounds. Like it's like killing a Plaguebear's Crawler. You're not just gonna like do this. And it's also like very low reward for killing it because it doesn't do anything. But it's a unit, so it blocks for deep strikes and stuff, which can be really annoying because Death Guard don't really have forward screens. That's just not a thing their army can do. So like this is important. And then it can also do contagion, so I can just flash Outbreak on it, and then it's like a 12-inch aura off of this thing in the middle of the table. It's really hard to kill, of like no rerolls or slow you down or something like that. So I think it's really cool. It also does like a bunch of.
It has the
other
contagion?
Stuff. Yeah, it has contagion. It has a bunch of other rules that don't really do anything, so I forgot them. But there's a lot of text on that page.
Maybe the best rule is still not.
Maybe we haven't even covered the best part. It does do something where it like poops out these little fortifications. Like it's this big thing is what you buy, and then you can poop these little ones out. But I think they also have to be free from terrain. Now, like, what are we doing here?
We're playing on Planet Bowling Ball and just make this Death Guard for it work.
Yeah.
We got a $5 super chat from Matt. Oh, curious to see some unit rules to see if my Rise of Combat army can work. Punchy bot meta inbound. Plasma nerf is annoying though. Yeah, it is annoying. Honestly, although Ryza was far from popular, it was you saw it a little bit when people were running big bricks of Katherine destroyers loaded up with plasma. But even then, that was back in 8th edition where all the hit modifiers stacked up, and it was very brutal to overcharge into Eldar flyers.
This is so difficult. Like, it's not a hard piece. This shouldn't be this hard. Like, why is this so hard?
But +1 to wound, totally great. Advanced +1 to charge is awesome too. So
I'm just not gonna touch it for a while until it's dry. So it'll just be like how I'm normally using the paint streams to wait for my washes to dry. Now I'm using the paint stream to wait for my glue to dry.
That's okay. You do want to wait for the glue to dry.
Well, I'll clip this out. I just hit it again. I'm gonna put this over here.
Oh, Nick and his building skills. Incredible. Incredible. You can only get this here at the Art of War.
I'm gonna put this over here off camera where it's definitely safe.
But overall, I think if you're going to go melee, it seems like Rising's going to be the way to go.
This is because it's crappy glue. That's what this is.
But we still have to see what actually gets core and what the doctrines are. I'm very curious to see what the new canicals are.
Oh, I was putting it in wrong.
Frankly, Shroud Psalm is the only one that was really impactful. Reroll ones in shooting. That's nice.
More sense.
But all of them were relatively too niche.
Just peanut butter and jelly once I figured out I was putting it in wrong.
What we need is Litany of the Electromancer going off on 4-ups.
No.
4-up.
Litany of the Electromancer killed gas. That thing is broken.
Kill them on a 6.
Yeah. Because it just does mortal.
Just straight up murk them.
You can't just be... there is a witch cult chapter tactic. I was going deep into Dark Elder this morning. There was a witch cult chapter tactic, Steves, that... It's like, how you can pick 2 chapter tactics to make up one custom trait?
Yeah.
So one of them is... When you're in engagement range with an enemy unit, you can roll a die. On a 6, they take a mortal wound. I can literally choose my chapter tactic to be Litany of the Electromancer. And I'm not going to do that, but I could.
Well, Litany's D3.
It's even worse. It's even worse. You have a broken rule over here.
I only use it to kill really important characters.
You use it to kill Gaz. That's broken. Gaz is dying to electricity. He's like the prophet of the Wa.
Off the Iron Strider.
Yeah. First, he makes 2,500 Velabanes against Gaz, and then he litanies of the Electromancers, and this is just a tragedy.
That custom Forge world is surviving.
Because I didn't bring Kari.
Yeah, you didn't bring the
That was like the last time I played Orcs. We're playing Orcs next week, right?
Hey, you keep changing the schedule.
We're playing Orcs next week.
Well, we may never see orcs again.
Never see Orcs again.
Nick has been letting the orcs down. Gaz and Drukhari are very disappointed.
No, guys, I'm gonna whoop your plus chairs. That's a classic.
Gabriel Seth is gonna fight twice at some point.
Gabriel Seth is gonna get run over by a horde of orcs. Literally, I'm just gonna take a bunch of boys and punch you in the face. That's what I'm gonna do. Maybe some tacky stuff like a commando unit, and some storm boys. Maybe Death Copters. I like Death Copters, but I'm just gonna punch you in the face.
Evil Sons?
Maybe I'll get crazy with it, Mark style, and then like Evil Sons Death Copters.
You can get like 50 hits.
Like 50 hits.
Hitting on 5s.
Hitting on 5.
Loading on
30
5,
shots. Getting like 47 hits. Telling me it's average because he used more DACA.
I love Mark Math. There's the Nick Macari. I love that one.
How does this go? So like
build it over here so people can see the struggle. People want to watch.
I'm gonna see because I want your help on this. Well, it's dry now, so I guess I don't need your help on this.
Okay.
Well, if it's wrong, that's gonna suck though. I don't think it's wrong, but there's no real way to tell. And if there is a real way to tell, I didn't do it.
Maryland GT had a 3-2 Tau placing. There's triple Riptides, Shadow Sun, Piranhas, along with a bunch of Breachers. No Devilfish. I think the Devilfish are essential, honestly. That mobility to get the OPSEC where you need it, and then you really get...
Tell them about your latest discovery about your remorse.
Well, the Remorse can go in the Devilfish.
Yeah.
There's no FAQ about that. There's no FAQ about that. So, I was worried about AOC because they're playing Ruins straight out of the rulebook, which means it just doesn't protect aircraft, so they can just be seen across the table. But they only fit in one. They fill up only one slot in Devilfish.
This giant freaking Remorse
go right in there.
As a vehicle.
So that solves that problem.
So you're just gonna deploy.
I'm just gonna start them in the Devilfish, and if the Devilfish dies, which they'd have to get an extreme angle to shoot at them anyway, I just kill Breachers by rolling them.
I see what I did. I did mess it up. Oh boy, this is bad.
Remorse are awesome.
It's not that bad. It's off by like that much. Do you think that's that bad? It's off by that much.
Why are we not perfect here?
Why are we not perfect?
Why are we not perfect? What is going on?
You know what I...
there you go.
No, it's... I have to rip this whole side off to make this perfect. It's not happening.
Nick in his building. Why?
It's just not happening. It's like I wasn't meant to be a carpenter. Everyone's houses would be lopsided.
No, yeah. The structural deficiency.
Everywhere.
This is a danger. All of Nick's houses are condemned.
Like, there are just some things I can't do in life.
Building 40K model happens to be one of them, even though Nick has spent the last 20 years on 40K.
I was never good at this part of the hobby when I was a kid. I figured I would just
Magically get
better
better.
over time. I did get a lot better over time. You really, like, as a 10-year-old, I couldn't build a space marine as a 10-year-old. Like,
There used to be metal models back then. Forget about
the Screaming Skull Catapult, I'll never forget that thing. I gave up, so I constructed one out of pencils. I literally took a bunch of pencils, made a trebuchet out of them, and then covered them in skulls and arms and stuff.
That's what that looks like. Cetra would be pleased.
Such the evasion.
Has there been an actual rules call on the charging raider distance shenanigans?
Not a real one. I think, like, mathematically it is pretty sound. Like, there's no reason it's not an 8-inch charge. I personally just, like, try not to get myself in these situations. But if you're concerned about it, definitely ask a TO, though, whoever you're playing. And if you're, like, just looking for, like, a house rule or, like, how to play it, rules as written is always, like, safer. But I try to do whatever is detrimental for me. So, like, I will allow my opponent an 8-inch charge, but also not take an 8-inch charge, you know? In the same game, I would, but, like, as a philosophy. You know what I'm saying, Siegs?
I know what you're saying.
Siegs knows what I'm saying. These robots, they pick up what I'm putting down. They're very...
We just have to pretend.
What do you mean?
Just have to pretend. Make you feel good.
Good.
Make you feel understood.
I am understood. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19.
I will legit pay to see the clown car devilfish win ACO. You gotta have the remorse in the devilfish.
This is absurd. Like, what a friggin' tactic. Siegs told me this, and I literally just lost my mind. I walked out of the room.
It's totally fair game.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just, like, it's not okay.
The
You know?
Games Workshop
You
writes
have...
very sketchy rules, especially when it comes to Forge World.
It's very sketchy rules.
Like, they just wanted to write. They just wanted to get a book out of the way. There wasn't a lot of thought put into that one.
I'm gonna get Mike Brand on the phone.
You get him on the phone. While you're at it, talk to him about improving this Drukhari meta for us.
You know what? I'll be like, Mike, Drukhari, they're not busted. Their win percent went down last week. We need to buff these things up real quick. Also, Siegs, have you heard what he's doing with these remores? He's shoving these remores. You know what a remore is? It's a friggin' vehicle. It's not a vehicle. It's a flyer, but it's a drone. And he's putting the flyer drone inside a devilfish to avoid getting blown up.
It likes to transport
because it's a flyer drone, and then that way he can disembark and then move 33 inches and all over your face. You don't want that.
That's exactly how it goes. Like, you can't take Pierce the Veil against those things.
No, he's gonna blow up your weird boy. You're trying to pierce the veil with a weird boy, you're gonna blow that thing up.
With most people seemingly teching against Drukhari with this week's placings and events, do you think Drukhari would be more of a gatekeeper army? No, they're still the best army in the game.
Yeah. They're
If you don't seriously tech for Drukhari, you just lose.
yeah, if you don't have a very solid plan into Drukhari, you will just lose. But at the same time,
Or you could just not play them.
This is
Just don't play Drukhari at a tournament.
the real question is, as these lists emerge that do hard counter Drukhari, do the Drukhari players then counter adapt? Is that something they can do? Can they do that while still beating up everybody else as well? Do the Drukhari players just hope not to run into these mythical counters?
Well, we're going to find out this week in the War Room when I throw 6 flyers, Admech flyers, into Nick's Drukhari, and then he also takes John's Ultramarines to the face.
Yeah,
Can you adapt, Nick?
That's true. We're doing a new thing in the War Room. We got some wonderful feedback from all of you in the surveys that filled that out. So we're going to stress test some stuff. Instead of just doing full conclusion coaching games all the time, we're going to show you what testing really looks like for competitive players. So we're gonna play first, I guess, my Drukhari, whatever my latest greatest iteration is, into Mr. Siegs' AdMech flyer spam on these LVO ACO tables.
I'm
That
gonna
just
see you,
don't have
baby.
any terrain, so I'm just gonna get shot. It's gonna be great. And then John's gonna try his hand with these Ultramarines that redeploy with all these dreadnoughts, and they're gonna shoot me too. And we're gonna find out if I can take that. I don't know. Probably not.
Are you thinking of tech choices?
I'm definitely. I think, especially with the terrain being what it is for ACO, I can't play what I have been playing. But I'll have to figure out what to adapt to, like a chameleon. But you know what I've been playing isn't bad. Like it's a really good army. So maybe I'm getting carried away. But this is the problem. This is the hypotenuse.
No, it's not the
It
hypotenuse.
is the hypotenuse. No. Triangles. See, you can't think outside the box because you're thinking in terms of squares. You gotta start thinking in terms of triangles. Hypotenuse.
I'm thinking of seeing all those Raider sails above the hills in ACO.
And you know, maybe I take a whole bunch of venoms. This is where my brain's at. Like things that can hide behind these hills that are too tall, too short for raiders. Are we sure they're even too short for raiders? Are we sure? Raiders are pretty tall.
It's around 4 inches,
4 inches.
as per the LVO website.
4 inches.
Yeah, those hills are about 4 inches. That's not covering a Raider.
Raiders like 6 inches tall.
Yeah. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see those things.
This is not good. I'm gonna actually go measure a raider after I'm done gluing these wheels. This is the second worst part of them all. This is so tedious and horrible. We're getting there, Siegs. We're getting there.
No, it wouldn't be a concern in Dawn of War. Honestly, you just reserve one. Put one in strategic reserve. It brings it. I'd probably do the transport, honestly, and then bring it in.
Oh boy.
But you could do one of the bombers if you don't need the bombers.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
The point of the flyers is that you go first. You just see their whole army. You just fly it all next to them. You move block the objectives, and you drop a ton of firepower on them. And then when they're all their transports are destroyed in their deployment zone, they're just not getting to you in any reasonable manner.
This is very challenging.
10-man Deathwing Terminator break must have been the shortest lived OP hype. To be fair, I saw a list this past weekend that was 3 10-man breaks of Deathwing Terminators and characters. I think it did. Was that the one that went 4-1?
See, this is not good. I messed it up. I don't know how. But one of these belongs on that. I don't know which one. Because neither of these will go on it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, they specify which ones go where. That's supposed to be 20 and that's supposed to be 22.
Oh, wait. 20. No, it's the other side. I'm doing this one. 21 and 23. Wait. So no one. Hold on.
They tell you they're supposed to go
I
in
see
very
what you're
particular
saying, but I
spots.
didn't do that. I didn't like. I just put the round holes in the round holes. You know.
Oh my god.
This is like shapes. This is kindergarten. 23, 21. Where's 21? Siegs, where'd you put 21?
I feel like ACO is going to be heavy on terrain based on local New York tournaments. They told us they're shipping the LVO terrain.
Yeah,
So,
the local terrain. from New
LVO
York
2019 is what's being used.
is not the terrain being used at that tournament. It's from...
Yeah, Frontline shipping their terrain.
So
But
where's 21 though, Mr. Siegs?
You just look around for it. It should be in the wheel section. The wheel check.
Yeah, there's 22. There's 21. I
That's
already
right there.
clipped
You
21.
clipped 21
Oh,
and you
no.
glued it in there.
Oh,
See if it looks different on the thing. See if that one.
It's 21. It's just another wheel. All the wheels look exactly the same. They're just wheels.
Let me see.
Eagle eyes.
This one you messed up because you cut into it.
What do you mean I messed up?
Like you cut into it.
Oh, that's just Nurgle. He was allowed to get messed up. Nickel's like my kind. You can mess it up. You can just throw paint on it. It looks good. Looks bad. Looks good. Doesn't matter. It's great.
And it's one of these.
Yeah, I know it's one of these. That's what I'm saying.
No easy solution to that.
I mean,
You're
there
gonna
is.
have to clip to fit it in there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, now it might mess up the tracks. Or they're...
The tracks are already messed up. It's this or it's that. It doesn't matter how they get messed up.
Does AOC using obscuring terrain rather than solid walls give you a better time versus Drukhari? 100%. It completely changes that matchup.
Yeah, it does.
Also, the fact that there's those LVO hills, which aren't tall enough to block raiders, so hiding in the middle of the table for raiders is a lot tougher. There's no easy fire and fade plays with liquefier racks. So if they just come out and are on top of you, I just shoot everything away.
Everything just getting shot.
Just getting shot away. Easy.
Easy. Peasy. Lemons and squeezies.
How are Grey Knights right now? They're solid.
That was convincing.
They're solid. They're like, they need an extra wound. They just getting the baseline marine treatment of you stay the same cost, but you get an extra wound, and your weapons are better. They need that right now. If they had that, they would be one of the best armies in the game, in my opinion.
That was beautiful. It just clipped right in there.
But the tough part about them is they're still quite pricey for Marines. Marine bodies that are 1 wound or 2 wounds on their Terminators. And there's a lot of firepower in the meta right now. So you are heavily relying on your indirect fire, which, is going to get you, pretty far. But the tough part about Grey Knights is just what stands on objectives and survives for long enough to get you primary points.
I'll tell you. Dread Knights.
No.
Land Raiders?
No.
Land Raiders with Gate won a tournament like 4 years ago.
Okay.
It did.
It might have. It's not going to help you now. Dark Lances are all over the map.
It could help you, though. Oh, I messed everything up. I'm going to stop touching stuff.
Why are you touching anything? What are you touching?
You just got to touch stuff.
What do we agree on, Nick?
You gotta fiddle. If I was like a Batman villain,
You're
I'd
never
be the
gonna...
fiddler.
You know.
Yeah. I fiddle with things. Not like my superpower. Seems to be the robot.
We got a $5 super chat from Clown Mode. Nick, I'd love for you to elaborate your thoughts on the Second Punic War. Specifically, what did Scipio Africanus do well?
Who?
Famous general, Scipio Africanus.
Scipio Africanus. Oh, well.
Famous Roman general.
No, he's from Africa. Africanus, from Africa. But back in the day, we all descended from Africa. That's where it really all came from. The apes evolved into the humans, and the subspecies of the humans, the Neanderthals, and the cavemen, the warriors of the caves. So that happened in Africa. That's where it all began. From there, we spread eastward, northward, into Asia and the Europeans. And somehow we learned a boat, and then we got to Australia. And then back then there was land connecting Alaska and Russia. So you just walked across, and it was cold, but that's what you had mammoths for. So anyway, the Punic Wars were really just an evolution of... It's really just spawned from evolution. What's his name?
That's clever.
Scipio Africanus he was the guy who was the leader of the Punics. So he being the person who evolved from Africa, led the Punics into their evolution and had these wars.
All right, there you have it. The worst ever take on Scipio Africanus and his legendary feats in the Second Punic War. Famous Roman general, completely transformed into something totally that he isn't. That's Nick Nanavati.
I think I did pretty good right there.
That's the kind of history Nick has learned.
That's what the YouTube education will get you.
The combination of YouTube education and Rutgers, unbeatable.
Unbeatable. Look, I went to business school. I'm running a business. I watched YouTube. I can tell you about Scorpio Africanus.
People probably have already asked this, but what are you guys' favorite Forge Worlds so far and why? I think it's hard to say until we get the full context of the rules, but I like Metallica and Mars.
I'm just not a
The
fan of
best so
Forge
far.
Worlds. I feel like, whatever, man. That's what you could have gone with. You could have gone with.
Nick likes Lucius.
Lucius the Eternal is cool. He's pretty cool. Like, Forge World as the name of your army's chapter tactic or high fleet or whatever you want to call it, totally fine. But Forge World is also the name of how Games Workshop produces models. So, like, way to double dip Games Workshop Forge World.
Well, that's where they got the name.
Citadel.
That's where they got the name.
That's where they got the name. Forge World.
The Forge World is where things are being created.
Who's being created?
Do you think the War Boss on Bike will still be good even after the new book?
Entirely dependent on his points cost and his stats. I mean, taking a war boss who almost assuredly will be useful enough, and then putting him on top of something that makes him move really fast, yeah, that's not going to be bad. It'll be not infantry, so there might be like strats that only act with infantry. So maybe you would like to benefit from those, but there's probably going to be strats that interact with bikes, and he'll benefit from those instead. So there's a lot to kind of plays there. Sometimes you want to be able to Kool-Aid man through walls. Sometimes you want to be faster. So really just like a points and preference thing.
Yeah, what's the rest of your army looking like?
Yeah.
The Bike War Bosses fit easy with the vehicle spam type of lists.
Yeah, because they can keep up with those vehicles really well.
Yep.
And they provide a nice little bit of counterpunch. Check them up.
When they get their 9th book, do you think Custodians will lose their 3+ Vagina wounds? Probably. If anybody keeps the 3 up and bone, it would be them. But they've shown a very...
They're
they're
not
very
handing them
hesitant
out
about
anymore.
3 up and bones.
They should be. 3 bindles are dumb, but so is giving every Space Marine a 4 bindle. I'm not for that either. Still, it's better than giving every Space Marine a 3 bindle.
Yeah.
But why does every Space Marine need an invul?
And +1 to armor saves.
Yeah,
So-
that part's the annoying.
Okay. No, they just keep undercosting these defensive abilities, but it's
You tell them, Six.
it's better that than undercosting. At least we see them. At least we see. The problem is they don't balance internally between the options, so we just see Storm Shields and Lightning Claws everywhere because they're just straight up better than all the other ones. They just really struggle with that internal balance between war gear options. They swing from one extreme to the other.
Helm Spite?
No, not the Helm of Spite.
Helm Spite's the best one.
Helm of Spite is not what you want.
What do you mean it's not what you want? It's the best one. See, he's talking nonsense these days. See, this one I also messed up. It's just gonna be messed up. It's fine.
You messed up another one? The other side?
It's the same thing I messed up.
God, I thought we went through this.
We did, but it worked the first time. I wasn't gonna change my process. We got through it. And just like that, we got through this one too. Why is this one blue?
This is Commander Shazo Raleigh. It's from Kelshan, not Farside Enclaves.
So he's blue.
Yeah, he has blue armor.
Interesting. What is his name?
Shazo Raleigh.
From Keltan?
Kelshan.
Kelshan. What a stupid name.
This guy,
Who here agrees that Tau have stupid names? I want a poll.
this guy does 3 mortals to vehicles with 1.
That's awesome, Siegs. I hope that between that and then your strat that does the mortals when you charge, and then the EMP grenade strat, I hope you kill a Plagueburst Crawl. I don't. My Plagueburst Crawlers are beautiful. They can never die.
They're not that beautiful because you keep messing up the build.
Are you still running the Riptide in your list?
Yeah.
I think he kind of sucks. Like, it's a lot of points to do nothing. I liked him when I got shot by him at Clutch City, which really put me onto him, because in that instance, he did really well and I failed all my saves. But having now played against Riptide a couple more times...
You made every save.
I've been making every save. So there's no reliability to him, is what I'm telling you. He's like super hot, he's super cold, whatever it is. But like...
The rest of my army is all
Worrisome.
consistent damage. I like having the high potential that he brings. He's something that can just one-shot, vehicle.
That's true, he can. That's a useful tool.
He also has high AP, which the rest of the army doesn't have.
Okay, so we're going to be smart about this. We're going to...
But I have lists that just have more commanders.
We're going to clip them in order. And we're not going to mess up the order. 35 is this one.
The list that I had just ran against John with the 7 or more that didn't have the Riptide. The Riptide's 5 or more.
But now you're up to 9 or more.
No, I'm not running 9.
Oh, how many are you running?
7.
Why not 9?
Because I want one that I can just trade turn 1 for an engage point.
So it's 3-3-1.
Yeah.
That's clever.
I don't think you need 9.
No, I like 7 actually. That's cool. I can dig the 7.
Crazy how the offensive output has gone through the roof compared to pre-8th edition. Weird arms race between crazy offense, crazy defense lately. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much all over the place. Except for Necrons, who didn't get either end of the extreme.
You can't trust the Necrons, though.
They didn't get great offense, and they also got okay defense. And mediocre defense if it's not Warriors. So, just be lucky.
Just be lucky.
Hopefully you get a good codex.
I'm going to follow the instructions here. I was going to get clever and get ahead of myself, but instead I'm going to follow the instructions. What you say about that, Mr. Sieg?
I'm going to see how long that lasts for.
Why can't you just be on my side? Why can't you be like, wow, Nick, good job.
I'm skeptical. I bring a healthy skepticism to your
my,
building endeavors.
That's what my dad says.
See?
No, what do you mean see? No, I don't see.
Healthy skepticism.
Skepticism. This doesn't even make sense. Oh yeah, it does. Wait, no, it doesn't. How does this work? Am I going about this all wrong? No, I can't be. I was very careful. I don't know, Mr. Sneaks. Maybe it's... Why do they do this to me?
Hate to see you struggle like this, Nick.
Oh, I got it. Okay. I got it. I messed it up, but I got it. I understand it now. Now I am one with the build.
Looking like AdMech for ACO, or is the Mad Lad going to bring the Farside Enclaves? Could bring either of them. Could bring Blood Angels, right? Ray Knights.
This is the other thing I
could bring that Necrons build that I've been working on. Got a lot of tech choices.
Yeah, this kit is really well thought out if you just don't mess it up.
But how would you figure that?
Well, I think there's some irreparable damage, unfortunately. Yeah, we're just...
Glad this is only Nick's third playthrough probably that he's building.
That's not that bad, right?
The track is on just a straight, it's a straight right angle, 90 degrees, baby.
It's not that.
A straight 90-degree angle.
Oh, wait. Track is not good to my thumb. Papers crawl. That's okay. You gotta remember, Mark did the last 2 Plague Sprawlers because I couldn't do them.
Okay, so Mark actually built them properly then.
Yeah, those ones are fine.
Oh, look at this. He's trying.
No, see, it's almost.
Oh my god. Show it off.
So I'm not showing it, I'm fixing it.
Over here.
Fixing it.
People want to see.
This is hard to get control. You know, they tell you to bring the ball closer to your chest so you can control it better. It's hard to control when it's all the way out here under the camera.
You been taking basketball lessons?
I watched The Last Dance on Netflix last week. I'm basically Michael Jordan now. Give me the rock.
We're gonna see Nick out on the court soon.
You're gonna see Art of War. You get your basketball lessons here. Siegs is a champion. Look at him. He's like excellent at dunking. How high can you jump?
Probably higher than you.
Higher than me. That's at least tall enough.
You know what? I can play much better defense than you for sure.
I don't even understand how to play defense.
Wait, you play defense in basketball? That's Nick.
I can do layups. I'm actually decent at layups.
Decent.
I can do free throws and I'll make some of them. Yeah, that's my basketball. I know how to run. Not great at it, but I can do it.
A for effort.
A for effort.
We should sign you up for Michael Jordan's basketball camp.
Does he do that?
I'm sure he used to.
He used to.
I don't know if he still does.
No, I think he would try to make me work a lot more than I'm willing to. To be honest, dude. When I take a lap, he'd be like, you take a lap. And I'm paying you. I'm not taking no laps. Where are these treads?
You cut them all off.
No, I specifically didn't because I've made that blunder before.
Are AdMech going to make the ACO cutoff? No. In fact, the ACO cutoff was May 14th for some bizarre reason.
What was the bizarre reason?
I don't know.
Oh.
That's why I'm saying it's bizarre, because it doesn't make any sense.
You know, the Games Workshop used to have this this thing called the Bizarre Bazaar. No, it was play on words. But you would take a lot of your stuff, just whatever you had, and bring it into your local store where they're doing this, and you could sell it to other gamers and trade it to other gamers. There's this whole thing. I made $500 like every time this happened as like a 13-year-old just selling junk I had. I was like, do you want these widows that are painted like terribly and built terribly? And someone would just give me money for them. It was great. It's like a yard sale for 40K players.
Nick, FYI, my 10-year-old son put together a Plague Burst crawler last week and it was perfect.
I'm happy for him. It shows good just dexterity skills. You should tell him that. There's the one best warrior player ever on TV. You know, I'm watching, but you can't build a Plague Burst crawler. Be like him one day. That's what you should tell your kid.
Any advice on how to prepare, what to expect from something like the Las Vegas team tournament?
Oh, I could write a book on how to prepare for teams. Oh, God.
Not on how to build models, but prepare for team events. You got Nick here.
I'm good at the team events. How does this work? Dang it. Hold on. I'll give you my thoughts on this in a minute. I'm focused. Let's talk.
I'm just enjoying this ride. Look at this. He's trying to still get the tracks on.
We're not even on the other side.
No, we're on the side that it looks like a right angle. It's an actual right angle on the tracks instead of curved around.
No, we fixed that.
You fixed
I
it?
fixed that problem. But now I have this other problem. It's close enough. Okay. What was the question?
How do you prepare for team events like the Las Vegas team tournament that's going to happen?
Oh, it's not just like a one sentence answer, unfortunately. How you prepare for those things is more an ongoing process. We actually just started the process last week. So you will be going to the Las Vegas team with us in our Art of War team. But it starts with just developing your team. You know, like who is my team? Who am I going with? So I'm going with Mr. Siegs and Lyman and our new coach Jack and Mr. Bradley Chester. Unfortunately, Mark can't make it. But that's a rock solid team, right? So then I have to identify what each player's play style is if you want to be competitive with it and you really want to gel with your team. Like, what is each player good at? Now, obviously, amongst this team of the Dream Team over here, we're all good at a lot of stuff, but we all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses. We got to identify that and then start making stuff. Like, I'm not going to put Siegs on Chaos. He's never played Chaos a day in his life.
I have. I won a game of Charity Hammer with Chaos.
All right, Siegs is our Chaos player. I stand corrected. So, Siegs will play Chaos. I'll play Admech. John will play...
you can't play Admech. You can't do target priority.
That's what I'm saying. You want to match the people up with their skill sets, of course. People want to play what they want to play. But also make sure they're good armies if you're trying to be competitive. You can't just play what you own and expect to do well all the time. Sometimes it doesn't line up like that. And then you got to keep adapting to the meta, figuring out, like, do practice pairings, come up with hypothetical teams, then go through the motions, like pair your team against this hypothetical team. Oh man, it turns out our team actually has no answer to Dark Angels. Crap. And it might not be something so glaring. It's that only one person in your team can fight Dark Angels well. So if they go first defend the Dark Angels, only one person answers them well, or two people answer them well, but now you have to use both of your people there, and they have to be very dedicated to that role. It's very interesting. So this is the hard part to the teams. This is what we teach in the War and that good stuff. That's the fun part to it for me.
Yeah. There's also a lot of coaches that are willing to talk about how to play for a team event, because we actually coached up a team of Art of War clients for the most part in that TTS WTC event.
Yeah, we did. They did really well.
Yep. They were beating down top ETC.
They were literally beating up ETC teams. I think I did this whole thing. We're too deep.
Nick, the science is defense is all about hustle, okay? Hustle.
See, I'm not
Nick's he's not good at it.
I'm not good at the
Putting the extra effort in.
No, I'm good at the extra effort when it needs to get done. Like I'm not afraid to bust my ass, but like it's not something I actively enjoy doing. You gotta be an avid seeker of ass busting for playing defense.
Nick never leaves the corner of the court. Nick is the type of player like Kyle. What's his name? Korver?
Who?
I forget who. This guy who played for the Hawks for a while. Anyway, he just stands in the corner and makes threes all day.
That's great.
That's you. That's me. You.
Leave me alone. Score my points.
Minimal defense. He's a liability on defense. He'll stand out in the corner, no problem.
You put me over there. No one's gonna mess with me.
Just spread the court. Nick's the guy to help you spread the court, because he'll just be out there. Somebody's got to go.
I'm excellent at spreading the court. You want me in the middle of nowhere? Perfect. That's where I belong.
You guys get your Bellacore model yet? We did indeed. Mark Perry is painting Bellacore. So we'll see how that turns out. Who knows what color is he going to be? He's going to be like bright orange or something.
Probably not going to be black.
No, he's not going to be black with gray highlights for sure.
Definitely not.
And then he's going to have some sort of underslung orc weapon.
Good for Mark. He's always willing to express his creativity.
Push the boundaries of creativity here.
Yeah, there's no like, this is safe. You know, everyone knows Great Bellacore is like safe. He's just going to do some Mark stuff. And we're going to get up with Ronald McDonald the Bellacore. It's going to be great.
The original Demon Prince. Ronald the Bellacore. Ronald McBellacore.
Yeah, did not badly. That's what he'll say. He will say that.
Really?
On stream. Just like I did. Okay, so it goes 1, 2. Wait, is this the right 2? I don't know.
Buckle your shoe?
No, it is. It is. 1, 2, many. And then another 2. It's all about mapping these things out. Clipping.
It's about precision?
I don't know if it's about precision. I wouldn't use the word precision. Let's get that going this way. I want them to see the struggle of my pains.
Right there.
Yeah, that's perfect. You get to see the crawler, the plagues. So this goes here.
Nick is definitely crawling at snail space.
What time is it? It's not even 2. It's not. It's 1:59. We're doing great here. What's going on?
Nick is still on the tracks, by the way. He's been on the tracks the last 20 minutes, at least.
You don't want to mess up the tracks. You gotta make sure these get done right.
20 minutes to do half the tracks, and half the tracks poorly.
See, this is why we use Golden Globe Gaming. They can build tracks.
What kind of army types give you guys fits? Like slow durable armies, fast glass cannons? Magnus and Morty for Nick, for sure. Put that on there.
I always do poorly against these stupid night elves. Like, I've definitely beaten them enough times that it's not like a problem.
But if a knight's gonna survive on 1 wound, it's gonna be against Nick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these things and I have a very bad relationship.
That's the difference between you getting to shoot a 450-point model at full efficiency again, or not.
Or not.
This really sucks. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's like multiple tournaments now have been lost to a night living on one of them, like, twice in the same game. It's like, are you serious right now? Part of this is me. Like, I keep splitting fire a little too much, but also part of this is just really. Well, you know, there's some things in life that are just meant to happen. This is one of those things.
What's on the building table? That is a Plague Burst Crawler. Nick is trying his hand at building one of these things.
I'm doing pretty well.
The tracks are a struggle.
I mean, the tracks aren't... They're a challenge, they're a mountain, I'm climbing. I'm doing it. I'm living the American dream out here. I see a challenge and I'm tackling it head on, and we're gonna have a players crawler at the end of the stream, Siegs.
It's impressive.
That's right. And you're gonna have a blue commander, commander number 87.
It's a Shazo Raleigh.
Shazo Raleigh. How many commanders do you have?
As many as I need.
How many do you own?
I'm the supreme commander here, Nick.
You keep dodging the question.
I have
it should just be a simple numeric.
all the
answer.
commanders in the Empire.
3, 4. Is he number 5?
I have all the commanders in the Empire.
Is it more or less than 10? We're talking double digits.
What do you think?
I think it's well more than 10. I think if it was less than 10, you would have just said no.
Every crisis suit could be a crisis commander.
No, I'm talking about how many real proper commander box sets do you own? The silence. That says it all. He's pleading the fifth. You know what happens when you plead the fifth in court? Everyone thinks you're guilty. That's a real thing. Sometimes. Science.
That's science.
That's science.
I've got plenty of commanders.
I watch enough law shows to know
How do you think I
what's
got all these cyclic ion blasters?
That's what I'm saying. Siegs doesn't order bits. Siegs doesn't magnetize his models. Siegs buys commanders. Every time a burst cannon has to be on the new model, it's a new commander. And Siegs has changed weapons like 3 times in the past year.
Hey, I got these magnetized.
Finally.
I wasn't willing to.
It took you a year and a half of just buying commanders, and now we're magnetizing. I'm proud of you.
I needed the weapons first.
You
I have
and
all the
magnets are just like me and Battlescribe. It really is something.
No, look at all the magnetization I did.
And yeah, now I'm starting to use Battlescribe. It's come full circle.
Starting to.
I really did mess this up pretty bad. It's not good.
And it's not recoverable.
No, it's not. Like, it's just gonna be messed up forever. But oh well. And no one's looking at the tracks on the Players Crawl. Like, what
It's just this is the extra nurgly one.
This is the extra. I'll put some green stuff on here. You can give this one a mark. Yellow and blue stuff.
Is the attack bike hype over thanks to Drukhari? No.
It's not good.
Patrick McKinney won with attack bikes, white scar attack bike.
I mean, that's true. The attack bike is on.
I see like every single Dark Angels list has like 6 to 9 of them.
Attack bikes are amazing. Like, do attack bikes struggle in Dark Elder or not specifically?
It just what they struggle is they have to get within 24 inches.
Yeah,
which means you're just in Dark Elder threat range turn 2.
Yeah, they get into the no-go zone for fighting Dark Elder, but they're still just such a good model. The attack bikes are really good for points cost. You know? So there's nothing wrong with taking attack bikes. They just aren't particularly helpful in the Dark Elder match. They're still fine. Bolters are good into all their infantry, even decent into raiders. Multi-melt is really good in Incubi and into raiders. And even slits. No one's willing to shoot multi-meltas in this list, but I tell you, that is a good way to kill them. You get me to fail 5 of Benville, that guy's basically dead.
Is it though?
D6 plus 2 damage. Like, you don't roll a 1 and probably.
If they're in half range?
Yeah.
If they're literally next to your army and trading their attack bikes for a couple slip.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just saying, I won a lot of games because people ignore my slits because nothing is point sufficient into them, and you're like, I want to solve this problem with bolters. Bolters don't solve the problem unless you have 10,000 bolters. Like, you gotta actually solve the problem.
Yeah, exactly. There's attack bikes everywhere. The hype is not dead.
There's attack bikes everywhere. I'm with you.
They're still everywhere. They're still very good. They're not great into Drukhari, though.
But you know what is great into Drukhari? Lilith.
Lilith Hesprax?
Hesprax. She would slaughter a couple warriors before she goes down.
More than a couple, I'd hope.
Triple Flamer Fab Lightspawn. Vomitrix.
When are we going to see Vomitrix?
I think next week. I'm going to bust the Death Guard out next week and play a game. I'll play Oryx and I'll play Death Guard.
Alright, make it happen. 2
games next week. What do you want to play? Let's make the schedule right now.
Well, we have to put in some sub matches, like Sisters vs. Drukhari. That's for Matt O.
Sisters versus Drukhari.
That is Matt O's request match from
Getting
last
all
month.
the practice up in here. Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
Appreciate you. I was gonna struggle to justify putting Drukhari on the stream, and then I'd not have enough practice games before ACL. It'd be this whole problem. But you are single-handedly letting me play
Yeah,
Drukhari.
man, Kyle
on the
Norman.
stream. And Kyle.
We got Tyranids versus Drukhari coming up tomorrow.
It's not all the practice I need, but it's definitely not gonna hurt. I'm gonna try some experimental stuff. I'm looking at Real Space Raiders.
Ooh, Space Raiders.
Do you even know what that is?
Yes.
Ooh, Zeeks knows what it is.
It's the combined attachment.
It's the combined attachment. You know what it does?
It does a whole bunch of different
A
things.
bunch of different things.
It's a gigantic, like, page-long
I had to read it like
explanation.
3 times now. Look how much I've been reading, though. I read something 3 times.
That is impressive.
All right, so this one's a lot worse than the last one. This set of treads is just one messed up. Like, once again,
What can you possibly do about that?
That's just going to be the way it is. You know, don't get too close at it. that sucks. Like, I can't spend the entire paint stream trying to make the treads perfect. It's just going to take so long, and then to what end? We have an unfinished Plagueverse crawler with pretty treads. No, that's pointless. And I'll have way more glue on my fingers. Not to say that I don't already.
Just a question as I'm looking at signing up to the War Room. Are the exclusive podcasts available on Spotify?
There's a list of places they're available that I have not committed to memory, but it might be.
I'll look it up.
I'll look it up.
I'll look it up.
Thanks, Mr. C. I'm sorry, our podcast network. We don't have all the answers for it right now. We're in the process of really developing it, so we're putting a lot of time and energy into it. But sometimes simple things like where can you find it slip through the cracks in my memory. There's a lot of cracks in my memory.
They're not cracks. They're chasms at this point. Cracks is being very generous.
Oh my god. 3 for 3. We just keep like dropping these. But we catch them.
I like how Nick has roped me into that.
It's everything at Art of War is we, you know.
Okay, here it is. Here it is, Nick. Our new competitive 40K podcast network can be found on Google Podcast, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Breaker, Player FM, Listen Notes, and the Podcast Index. And then we are waiting for approval on Apple Podcast. How about that? Spotify's number 2.
Spotify's number 2. Can be found on Spotify. Spotification. I need to really figure out my Spotify because, like, it just doesn't like me anymore. And I don't know why. It did that thing where I forgot my password, and then I was like, can I change my password? And they were like, yeah, enter your password. And it was very cyclical, and I got very fed up with it. So I just gave up, and now I don't use Spotify. But I need to fix that.
Nick just gave up.
Now I've been using Pandora. There's nothing wrong with Pandora. I'm talking smack. But like Spotify is good too. And you can't apparently find the Art of War podcast on Pandora. So you have to listen to it on Spotify. So clearly I need Spotify.
You need to step your game up.
I need to step my game up. How else am I going to listen to these podcasts?
Cover your password.
It's hard. Can you recover it?
You can recover it on Spotify.
No. I am saying that I cannot recover it. Not for a lack of trying. I've tried this twice now. It's been a while since I've tried it. I have tried this before. And it gets very angry with me. I'm not good at the technology. That's why we have Siegs.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Tom B, Justin, welcome. How are you guys doing?
Okay.
Nick is struggling mightily to build this Plagueverse crawler.
We're getting there. It's almost
210?
done.
It's there's like a full sprue still. Go.
I was gonna build both Bell Blight spawns and the malignant fire also.
Nick started with ambition, and that's good.
That's good.
That is good.
See, as much as all this talk Siegs smacks, but you know, I do the right thing a lot of times. Like the other day, the laundry machine was making a noise and had no idea what noise it was. It sounded not good. I alerted the authorities, Mr. Siegs.
The authorities.
The authorities. I did my part. to save our house from burning down from light.
That wasn't it.
Yeah, it could have been. Could have been. Okay, this is exhausting, I must say. How people do this day in and day out, I'll never know.
What about when you asked Amir to work on Drukhari Army?
Amir,
Can you get this done?
This is Golden Globe Gaming. They get stuff done. What can I say? I don't know how to commission studio. I would have died. Instead, I teach you how to play 40k and be better at it. Because that is where my skills lie. Yes.
Do they like Death Guard?
They do lie with Death Guard. I got this new flamer thing. I'm going to flame people off the friggin' board. Triple Foulblight spawn. Not one, not two, but 3 Foulblight spawns. Some may say I'm crazy. Sees, do you think I'm crazy?
No, I think it's a great idea.
Is that sarcasm?
Put it on the table.
Put it on the table. That's what, every time I have an idea, Siegs tells me to put it on the table. There's no, do you think this is a good idea?
No, I have given you actual feedback.
Sometimes, yeah. We have had conversation.
But I also,
But a
if it's
lot
a
of
wild
people-
idea, we'll just put it on the table and see.
You know what I put on the table at one time? Okay, hold on. This is... I'm coughing. This Playburst crawler is not working. It's because I messed up the tracks earlier. It's really causing a lot of headaches now.
The foreshadowing.
I got it. Now I feel better. Sometimes you just gotta get it. You know what I'm saying?
Nurgle's Rot?
Nurgle's rot. Okay, so we're just gonna hold this down for minutes. Solid minutes. What was I saying before? List the flamers?
Yeah, flamers.
Oh yeah. I think I'm onto something with the flamers because every time I play against Death Guard, I get shot by flamers. I'm like, that hurt. So why not just take more flamers? You know what I'm saying, Seeks?
What if they just stay away from flame range?
This is where the problem lies. But I think the answer to that problem is just take 3 Plague Burst Crawlers. Because they give me not flamers that shoot from across the table. And it's like, okay, you can stay away, but I'm blasting the Plague Burst Crawlers and taking the board with Terminators. So really, you're just losing. This is my thought.
What about the Miasmic Malignifyer?
He's going to make the cut. He's going to get in there. He's getting his head in the game. We ordered one, and I'm happy with it.
Roughly how many house conflicts get resolved in a roll-off?
There's not much house conflict. It's a very good environment.
It's Star Realms bets.
A lot of house chores are divvied up via Star Realms bets. That's been historic, especially between Mark and I. But Mark doesn't live here anymore, so that's come to us slow. I will say, for the amount of dice that are in this house, they're literally thousands, I would wager. It's very hard to find a die to roll the first turn with when you're not actually in the stream room. Like if we're playing a game in the living room or something of like not 40k, and we just want to figure out who goes first. It's very challenging. Yes,
That's because we try and keep this place clean.
we do. We do. Why'd you look at me when you said that? You know what I did this morning? Yesterday morning, I vacuumed. Ever hear that? Yeah. That's what I did. No one told me to do it. Just like, you know what? This place is kind of dirty. I'm going to vacuum. And I did. It's almost like being a person.
Almost like being a fully formed adult.
I don't want to get carried away here. But yeah.
Baharoth Blue is such a good highlight color.
Baharoth Blue?
Yeah.
You know what Baharoth is?
Yes.
Yeah. Baharoth, for those of you who don't know what it is a Phoenix Lord specifically of the Swooping Hawk aspect. Now, Siegs, how do you feel about Swooping Hawks?
They're actually pretty cool.
They're actually pretty cool. I thought
Yeah.
you didn't like them.
No, I hate Banshees.
I know you hate Banshees, but...
No, Swooping Hawks are fun. I like Swooping Hawks. Swooping Hawks, Warp Spiders, Striking Scorpions,
Really? So you
Dire
do have
Avengers.
taste.
Dire Avengers.
You just dislike Banshees because you're wrong and like Striking Scorpions because you're wrong. But the rest of them I agree with.
Aesthetically, the Striking Scorpion is so much more interesting than the Howling Banshee.
You're insane! That luscious flowing hair, that very sleek, sexy armor. A Scorpion is just like bright green. It looks like a traffic cone.
They're so they're iconic. You open up that 3rd edition rulebook, you see classic Striking Scorpions in a battle report.
Get with the times, Mr. C. This isn't 1992. 3rd edition rulebook is long gone.
It's a beautiful rulebook.
It was a beautiful rulebook.
Mm-hmm.
It was before I played 40k. I started in 4th edition. You know what 40k was before I started playing it? Nothing.
3rd edition was a great edition.
You didn't even play back then.
I did. That's when I started.
But that's after that you took a break, so you don't know what you missed.
In 5th edition, I took a break. I played 4th.
You missed 5th though. 5th was a golden time.
Golden time of Broken Army.
No, that was 5th was all just transports and MSU.
Grey Knights.
Grey Knights were great. Grey Knights, Cybacks, Razorbacks with Cybolt ammunition, heavy bolters.
Hey Nick, any thought about adding Bloody Rose Celestians back into a list to get the boost in anti-infantry shooting and combat that does not die to a stiff breeze?
Sorry, I missed. Bloody Rose something.
Celestians?
Bloody Rose Celestians. I have thought about that in the MSU build. If you want to just try to add more and more units, like Celestians are really good. They're better than Sisters for point stats, and they beat up Dark Eldar pretty well. I don't think that's necessary. I think there's a point where you go too far with it. And honestly, the biggest problem with Celestians is that they're an elite slot, meaning you're pretty much paying for Sisters that aren't OBSEC, and you're clogging up your elite slot with like not Repentia or characters or Zephyr, which are just better. So I like Celestians. I don't think that you're wrong for taking them, but I don't think that they have to be there at all. I think they're a different way of getting the same job accomplished as a lot of other squads.
How's it going, Matt? The Maryland Open was awesome. Shame you guys missed it.
I really wanted to go. I'm really nice job there going 4-1 beating Sean though. Well done.
Yeah, and with Sisters.
And with Sisters. I was glad to see Matt actually was talking to me. We played at the last time I was in Maryland in the finals, and Matt and I were talking because he's a Sisters player as well. But he does all his Valor's Hard Sisters, and then I took the Bloody Rose, and now he's playing Bloody Rose. I'm all about it.
Bloody Rose is very good.
How'd you like the Bloody Rose versus the Valor's Heart? I'm curious.
How's it going over there?
Well, this is the easy part. The hard part is behind us. Now we are in the land of things glued together, and it's simple. The problem with this land is that it's a lot of easily dropped pieces.
As you say that
twice.
Same piece. Never easy with that. Never easy.
It could be, though.
Yeah, it could be. Very well could be.
Okay, so which one's which? Do I use the Rahil volley gun or the heavy slugger? You know, see.
What?
Do you know which gun I take on the head players?
You say one of the guns, and it's always the other one.
I know. I don't know which one I should actually build here.
Why don't you magnetize it?
No. This is just not a gun worth magnetizing. There is merit to magnetizing the side weapons, but I'm not going to do that either. There's no merit to magnetizing the heavy slugger versus the Rahil volley gun. Maybe in a different codex.
I think you use the heavy slugger.
You think so?
Yep.
That sounds right.
And I think you say Rot Hill.
I think that's right.
Every single time.
The heavy slugger doesn't make sense because to me, like, that's such an orc name, and this is like a Death Guard army. Heavy slugger, like, that's just an orc type of weapon. Rot hail volley gun. That's Death Guard type of weapon. You know what I'm saying? I'll say heavy slugger when I'm shooting my orcs all day long. There's no heavy sluggers to be found. You get it, right, Seeks?
I got you.
You got you. He doesn't really get me, but he's gonna say.
I'm gonna pretend for you.
Appreciate that. The world needs more people to fake it.
It was much better, but versus Sean, I wish I had Valor's Heart to ignore the liquefiers.
So how does this go? Oh, the Valor's Heart liquefiers. Here, I screwed the spot. Okay. Yeah, AP2 liquefiers. Valor's Heart does really well there. But you still got the win against Sean, so well done. Well done.
Yeah, and honestly, like, if they already popped the transports,
Actually, that's really clever. Valor's Heart to ignore liquefiers and Bloody Rose or Punch. This could be the time. The Triumph and Return. A lot of AP2 in the game these days.
there's a lot of Melta still.
Maybe I'll play Sisters.
Maybe.
Valor's Heart Retributors, they're not on liquefiers. Liquefaction?
Don't they just get killed by
Sisters hate that terrain, though.
Yeah.
They really do.
Oops, you wanted your Rhino hiding out of line of sight in this ruin? Nope. Get yourself wrecked.
Yeah, they don't like when the rhinos just have to be shot. Not actually tough. They're really tough versus like one Menhir shot, which is awesome. It's so trolly.
Would be more interesting to see Valor's Heartless with a bunch of Mortifiers and Arcoflagellants for combat in the new meta. See how they shake out.
You wanna be careful not to overtech in a Dark Eldar, because things that beat Dark Eldar are like Death Guard and Dreadnoughts, and a bunch of Arcoflagellants, Valor's Heart Sisters, and Mortifiers are not gonna solve your Death Guard and Dreadnought problems. So be very careful about overteching for Dark Eldar. But you gotta also do that. This is the wonderful balanced meta game that we have, sort of. Optimism. Alright. Hands.
Build it over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a bad habit. The whole like not building on stream. But everyone gets to watch me struggle now. This is ooh, that was a clip. I think we got it. I think we got the frame. It's holding. It's steady. My hand's not glued to it. I think we did it. There's a giant hole in it, though.
Yeah, there is.
We don't have it. We don't have it, folks.
Oh boy. How do you guys use the Triumph model in game? Want to field it, but seems quite easy to kill and expensive.
She is a support character through and through. Sometimes I've used her on like the front line as a distraction because like I realize my opponent can kill her, but that's like when there's not much terrain, and I'd rather them try really hard to kill the Triumph than blow up all of my Rhinos turn one. So sometimes I'll do that with her. But if there's ample terrain, I'll just keep her kind of back, safe, and then like towards late game she can come out. She's not quite as vulnerable late game because she's really not vulnerable to a few quality attacks. She dies to like here's 1,000 heavy bolter shots. That'll kill her. So deal with that stuff and then start using her, and then she's a real bully. In the meantime, she can just be farming Miracle Dice for you. And she's really good for making Rhinos last way longer than they should because she lets you use 2 Miracle Dice and modify them, so you're just passing like the multi-melta saves and the Darkland saves and stuff like that, and you're allowing whatever else to hit you as needed. But this is how you're going to end up with a Rhino with a few wounds left, and then your opponent has shot all your army. It's really cool. It's such a cool army. Right, Teeks? Yeah.
Nick never uses Miracle Dice.
I never use Miracle.
If I charge multiple units into a big squad like Poxwalkers, can the first squad kills 10? Can they be removed so that the other charging units are not eligible to fight?
In theory, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you could pull them in such a
That's
way.
definitely a big tactic on the high levels, like not like pulling casualties to reduce the incoming attacks later.
Because the other unit can still activate. It's just whether if they can pile in. So if you're 4.1 inches away from the other units, they won't be able to actually fight against you unless they have a fight twice. What are the thoughts on the AdMech stuff so far? Too little context to tell how good this stuff is until we actually see Canticles and the doctrines.
What do you want to be good? Like, what do you want to be good the most?
I want a lot of their little mission playing stuff to be much better, like Taraxi.
Pterodactyls?
Yeah.
That's how you remember it, folks. The Taraxi are the flying people because pterodactyls fly. That's literally how I remember it.
What about Castlin robots, Nick?
Those things suck.
They're so expensive for a 6 wound model.
They don't move. The game is won and lost in the movement phase. I know it sounds
There is a
like,
melee variant that could become good.
like it sounds like such a not intuitive thing to say, like the shooting and combat does all the damage, but honestly the game is won and lost in movement, and they don't freaking move.
I like the direction they went with Metallica, where they just have a lot of really useful abilities.
I don't know about all this Metallica stuff.
-1 toughness aura, reroll wounds aura.
Back in my day, they were just a band. And now they're getting all involved in 40k stuff, providing auras in the 41st millennium.
One of the best Forge Worlds.
Now they're a Forge World.
Forge Worlds.
They just back in the day, it used to just be about the music,
They're part of Warzone Carcharodon.
When did they get involved with the Carcharodons? When?
When Games Workshop decided they needed to sell a new book.
So Games Workshops just was like, I'm going to sell a new book. And then the dudes from Metallica were like, you know what, this screamo music, this metal, I'm not feeling it. Let's get involved with the Carcharodons and release some more abilities for the Forge World.
We gotta buff the Mechanicum.
Gotta buff the Mechanicus. That's what they said.
Defend the Imperium. Exaltation's the Omnissionic.
So I should build the Heavy Slugger, is what you're saying. Even though the Rot Hill is fewer pieces. I want to be clear about this.
Nick is questioning the nature of his reality.
Not questioning the nature of anything. Just not happy about this turn of events here.
Yes, you have to do the one that's more work.
Always like this. Can't just be simple. Brian sees is the worst with it. The brother. The pseudonym for the other tournament player.
They didn't release the doctrines today. No, they only talked about the Forge World traits, which most of them were decent. I really like Metallica. If Canicles are powerful, that's a great boost to get them on the Scutari units for Mars. Ryza seems strong if you're going the melee direction. Agrippina if you're going for Catapron Servitors. So, none of them popped out as like, this is just broken. None of the traits popped out as this is absolutely world beating, but they're all solid.
Okay, so now we have to build the mortar. This is a lot of pieces too.
The relics were mediocre, unfortunately, that we saw. And AdMech has some awful relics right now. So hopefully that gets resolved.
They have great relics. Reroll hits and combat and stuff. It's a great relic.
That's a warlord trait. That's Prime Hermeticon. Okay. No, their relic is reroll repair rolls, or if you're Metallica, then you get to take the Metallican Lung.
Okay.
You can take Anzion's Pseudogenitor, like Mark Hurdle does, and get D6 extra attacks against infantry. Reroll wounds against infantry. But yeah, they're not great. And they previewed 1 gun and 2 relics that were weapons, melee weapons, which you're not really trying to make your tech priests melee heroes. Biggest bummer was seeing rehashed versions of the same crappy weapon relics. Yep, that was definitely a big disappointment. Hopefully they have better, hopefully the ones they didn't preview are actually good. The Agrippina one is the best one. But it's still not amazing. It's a solid weapon. I would, if I had extra CP, I would put it on there.
I like to call it Agrippina.
But yeah, definitely hope the generic ones are the good ones.
This is exhausting.
Nick's an hour and a half into building a Plague Burst Collar. It's almost there.
We're getting there.
I know. I did say you're almost there. I know you're almost there.
You see.
You gotta.
We gotta drop stuff.
If you didn't drop stuff, you didn't drop stuff, it'd be better.
That was a cylinder. Cylinders roll. I'm not to be held responsible for how cylinders roll.
Physics of a cylinder.
You can't account for that. That's accounting for Air Force and stuff. Air resistance.
Air Force. I don't know what Air Force is, but we'll go with it.
Air Force.
You gotta account for Air Force in your physics calculations. What is the force of air?
Air has a force. It's called the wind. When the wind starts blowing, it exerts force.
Nick needs to go back to physics.
You want to know what I did in physics? Okay, I'll tell you.
I don't know if anybody wants to.
Everyone needs to know. So when I was in high school, I took physics in my senior year. And you know how senior year is for high school students that are going to college? It's like at some point during the year, you've applied to college. You know, you've sent them your transcripts, you've taken your SATs, you've written your essays, you went through the 85,000 paperwork pages. You're done. You've applied. And this is like in November or December if you know what you're doing and have your stuff together. So the next 6-7 months of high school don't actually matter from a does this affect the next steps of my life standpoint. You could learn stuff, you could participate, but there's no direct reward to do so, aside from knowing things. So in high school, after I applied to college, I just stopped. And that included going to class and things of that nature. Not every time. I got away with what I could. But every day in physics, I would go to the bathroom within the first 5 minutes of class and then just not come back. And that is why we talk about Air Force.
That's where the big brain Nick plays.
So if you don't stay in school, you can maybe become a professional 40K player in Florida.
Really, the biggest thing on ATs was the fact that some of the vehicles are getting core. Doubt disintegrators will get core, but here's hoping. Yeah, we'll have to see, honestly. Disintegrators, the Belarus energy cannon going to strength 5 is not what you want to see.
The Belarus energy cannon?
Yep.
Yeah.
The indirect fire.
So I have a question, Siegs. If you saw my Dark Elder army across the table from you, like raiders, full of scary stuff, Venom's full with 5-man witches, things like that, and a couple 3-man Reaver squads. It was all behind walls and stuff. What would you shoot your indirect fire Scorpius at?
If it's just shooting the indirect, you want to get kills out of it, so shoot at the bikes.
Interesting.
Get rid of your easy mobility engage points.
Depends on what I don't want you to shoot at. You wouldn't be tempted to shoot a Venom that you could also get a pretty easy kill?
No, because they're -1 to hit.
That matters to you as an automatic player. I feel like who cares?
If you're Mars, it doesn't, but if you aren't, you're hitting on 4s.
Yeah.
Rerolling 1s.
Yeah.
It actually matters.
I feel you. So maybe my bike idea is not good. You're just going to shoot them. I guess this is taking heat off the rest of my army.
It is taking heat off the rest of... They're not killing raiders.
There's that.
Especially if you put heat lance or anything on there. That needs to go.
No, I would not. I'm thinking 3 dudes with a power sword.
I would do it just because I have a really poor record of just killing vehicles with my Scorpius tanks. I'd rather just get any kills that I can, and the bikes are easier to kill.
But see, this is how people make decisions. You know, like my
That's
Hive
how I
Guard.
make decisions.
All 6 Hive Guard. We're gonna shoot 2 Tau drones. I've learned. Nothing became from split fire.
The one-wing Scorpius.
One Scorpion. Sometimes the whole concentrated fire doesn't work. You know, just screw it.
That was the best part, is that you were gonna split fire, and you know what? It just needs to die. Get it out of here, and then it doesn't.
That was after you rigged the table that game, I remember.
How would Nick do building the Ghost Ark or the Silent King? He would give up. There's no way he would build the Silent King.
Alright, what if I had to? I'm not allowed to give up.
You would give up and pay Chris Frost to do it.
What if I couldn't though? What if this was some sort of challenge?
You would quit. You quit 40K. You quit 40K.
That's the end of it. That's the level of impossible to build this.
No, but seriously, the Silent King is 3 full sprues, and for each set of small instructions, you need a piece from every different sprue.
It's not that much harder than a Plagueburst Caller.
It's extremely annoying, and somehow I did it in an hour and a half, but still.
So how does this gun go? Oh, there it is. I got it. Sometimes you got it.
No, they're not going to kill Raiders at strength 5. They're.
But they could kill Venoms at strength 5.
But it's not reliable. -1 to hit, winning on 4s.
That's true. It's not what you want.
No. So that's already a big nerf. But I imagine they're designing AdMech such that taking a castle of 3 Scorpius tanks isn't the only way to play.
No.
So hopefully there's other options. Like I would really like an aggressive AdMech army that can just be in your face with that doesn't rely on a tank castle. Like you just flood the board with stuff. That would be really cool.
Where is that? There it is. We're getting here. The mortar's almost built. What time is it?
Are there any AdMech leaks? No, they're doing previews on Warhammer Community. Well, we should get the preview, the like YouTubers doing their preview copies on Saturday.
We are?
Yeah, that's when pre-orders go up.
Oh, I thought you meant we're getting ready. It's like I haven't decided.
I would love if we got preview copies. If anybody has a hookup with Games Workshop, let them know we're looking. We're trying. We applied.
Really are. Okay, so how does this go? Oh, it's like it's one of those.
Hold on. Hold on. Nick's dropping pieces again.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. Okay. So it sits like this in the air.
If it sits, it fits.
If it sits, it fits. And it's held together like this. No, this was right. I'm smart. Okay.
You're actually smart.
I'm actually smart. I forgot. I forgot, but now I know. They really need to put better instructions on these. Like, this is not... This, on the box, it says, like, 12-year-olds can do this. 12-year-olds can't do this. The guy was just telling me.
Yeah,
So I can't do this, and I'm older than that.
That's a lot about you. Nick did not go to engineering school.
No.
And let's give a prayer to the Messiah for that.
When I was in high school also, before I stopped caring, in like sophomore year, I don't know, I need to focus on this.
He needs to focus. Is the mortar going to be able to fit inside the tank that Nick just built? Oh,
got it.
There it is.
Got it. Nothing's never coming out. It's sewn in there. So when I was a young lad in sophomore year of high school, we had biology class, and we were like in the lab and doing like stuff with pipettes and tubes and real like lab work for high schoolers. And I was so bad at the lab, my professor or teacher, whatever you called it back in those days, she was literally like, you shouldn't do this. Like you shouldn't go into a field of like lab work. It's not for you. It's not for you. Like teachers are supposed to be like encouraging and stuff and help. No, she's like, no, you're just really bad at this. I took that to heart.
At least she was honest with you.
She was. So this is an entropy cannon. I didn't know that. All right. Now I know what it looks like.
You're not going to magnetize the arm? When you want all flamers?
I mean, one day I could see running the flamers again. We'll just buy more Plague Crawlers. The Commander Life.
Okay, well, the Plague Crawler is a lot more expensive.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is an extra Plague Crawler really that much more expensive than 24 Commanders?
I do not have 24 Commanders.
How many do you have? We never answered the question.
I probably have 10.
We probably have 10.
I have 3 Enforcer Commanders. I have 4 Cold Star Commanders. And then 1's unpainted, so I have 5.
Bingo.
Right, so that's 8.
Right.
And then I have Commander Farsight,
Mm-hmm.
Shadow Sun, and then I have Shazor Ravai being added. So that's 11. That includes 3 named ones that are very unique.
That's good.
That's a reasonable amount of commanders.
It's an amount of commanders.
I think that's reasonable.
You know what I just realized?
I've actually ran lists with all of those, though, except for Shazor Ravai.
So the Plague Crawlers I have the flamers on them. But I've just been playing them as the entropy cans this entire edition.
So you want to take them to a tour?
Well, I did take them to a tournament.
That won't work if you put the actual entropy cannons on there.
No cares. That card. Same.
I'm gonna call you out top table.
I'll call you out. Be like, you're Amoras. These don't even have rules. You're just making stuff up.
Yeah.
Putting these things on the side of Devilfish.
Judge, can you make him put the entropy cannons on there?
No.
It's for visual aesthetic. It's really important to me.
You gotta have the visuals.
how'd the weekend tournament go? John went to the tournament, and he took it with his Ultramarines. So a win for the boys in blue.
Win for the boys in blue.
Yep, John took that tournament down with the Ultramarines, beating Drukhari in the final round. Apparently that player, that was their first GT they've ever been to. So congrats on them for making top table.
It's quite impressive.
Also tells you how powerful Drukhari are.
Also tells you how powerful John is.
Yep.
Dude was just like, I'm gonna play Ultramarines. Done with this.
We got Kyle Norman with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Kyle. What 5 armies would you take to a team tournament this weekend?
I think you'd have to take Dark Eldar.
First name on the team sheet, Dark Eldar.
Dark Eldar.
It could be Eldari Soup, but Dark Eldar for sure.
I think I would take Deathwatch. That stuff is scary.
Deathwatch is your Marines?
I think Deathwatch or White Scars. You can never go wrong with White Scars.
One Marine faction, probably Deathwatch or White Scars.
I wouldn't take Admech. Controversial choice. Maybe I would if I'm really skewing to kill other Dark Eldars, but I don't think it's necessary. I'd take Death Guard. I think Death Guard are great in teams. They just score 80 points no matter what happens. It's really good.
Yeah.
Maybe Dark Angels is Marines because they do the same thing. They score like 80 points no matter what happens. That's really good. So maybe I would go for that as a style. And then probably some skills to kill some.
24 Beasts of Nurgle.
24 Beasts of Nurgle. Let's go, baby.
Nick put an entropy cannon on the left and a flamer on the right so you can play it both ways.
That's genius! I'm WYSIWYG. This is the kind of innovations and ideas I like to see. This is what Art of War is about.
Thanks again, Kyle. Really appreciate your support. Going for top super chatter once again. Very impressive. What armies lend well to someone with a good target priority? Tau, Admech, Guard.
All the armies I hate. Interesting.
Armies where you have a lot of guns, but they all need to be doing particular work. That's where target priority is really important.
Yeah. It's not...
It's about the angles first, setting up where you can shoot at multiple things, and then actually resolving them in the most efficient way.
Yeah. It's easy enough to have okay target priority. I think a lot of players who are competent or better have okay target priority. I say I have okay target priority. But there is a real difference between good target priority and okay target priority.
Yeah. Nick is famous for leaving things on one wound. Like Palladius tags.
That's great target priority. Just looking out for your opponent. That's how you know.
It's good sportsmanship. I'm gonna spend $500 this weekend on a lot of Redemptors. You're right there with John Lennon. That's what John's been doing. He's been painting Redemptors all week, like the last 2 weeks, because he had to paint them in his Ultramarine scheme, and now he's building a Deathwatch army as well for the stream.
Sticks, how do you practice target priority? Because to me, target priority has always been just like make logical choices, do stuff efficiently. How do you actually?
You ever see me in the stream room where I'm just rolling some dice?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, that's how you practice. Is you set up. All right, I'm playing against John's Ultramarines. What's the most efficient way that I can kill 3 Dreadnoughts? Do I actually try and kill the 2 Contemptors first because they're only 9 wounds each? They're easier to kill, get rid of them, and then try and work on a Redemptor? Or do I focus down a Redemptor, and then with the remaining, firepower that I have, try and kill off the 2 Contemptors? But because the Redemptor degrades, you probably want to go for the easiest target first. That way you safely know I killed 2 Dreadnoughts so far. If I get this one down to a couple wounds, yeah, it'll heal back to mid-tier. But at least I'm not taking it full firepower. And it also depends on what type of firepower you have. You have things like the Riptide that are very swingy. You want to put that into a Redemptor because it could just kill it in one go.
I see what you're saying.
So
like,
you
actually go through the rolling.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's just let's play a game. Yeah, you can practice
you can
out playing the game. Yeah.
This is if you don't have a lot of close practice partners.
We did it.
Yeah, look at that game.
Yeah, it's
There's green stuff coming.
Wow. Optimistically. We gotta play versus Cry, ladies and gentlemen.
Hour and 45 minutes.
Hour
maybe.
45, 15 to spare. We could even do a Foul Blight spawn. Should we do one?
Can we? Let's see.
15 minutes to a Foul Blight spawn? I think opening is going to be challenging.
Is Nick going to really magnetize his models?
I have magnetized some models before.
That thing is supposed to open nicely. Just tear it down. And then Nick is gone. What are you doing?
Oh crap! I'm
What are you?
I'm trying to
You're
open
destroying
it.
them.
Well, it's
Pull this down. And open it. Okay.
But then you're gonna cut yourself. It's sharp plastic. Not meant to be opened in such a way. Look at that. It's perfect.
Now you open it.
Mr.
And now look at this. Look at this sprue.
The sprue's fine. The sprue's fine. See, everything's fine.
What the heck were you doing?
I was trying to create pressure and tension on the box.
My God.
The sprue's fine.
You ever hear that saying, "A disaster waiting to happen"? That's Nick.
That's not Nick. I threw out the directions. Whatever. It's like 4 pieces.
Watch Nick in just 2 minutes. Where are those instructions? How does this go together?
Oh, I broke it when I was being a maniac. We'll see. It's probably easy to fix.
I think Deathwatch is super, super good. Simlists have done really well with mech heavy. They can go a long way, especially into Xenos. So they have a great secondary into Xenos. 1 point for every Xenos you can kill.
Yeah, no, they just score a lot of points on that.
However, that is in the category where they want to take all the stuff.
Right, so it's not actually that one anymore. Like, if they were gonna score,
If
like,
it was in the purge the enemy one, that would be awesome.
yeah, it could have been a lot. Give them a new secondary, but it's just a better version of something they could already take. It's just better through the ranks.
There's my blue wash. Drakenhoff Nightshade.
Drakenhoff Nightshade.
You know where Drakenhoff is?
In the Vampire Land?
Yep.
You know why I know that?
Because you played Vampire Counts.
No, I played Tomb Kings, Mr. Seeds.
No, you played Vampire Counts. You love them so
I
much.
hated vampires.
You've told me so much. They'd always get the best models and treatment.
I hated them. They were just... Playing Vampire Counts is like being a diehard Harlequin player. Or playing Tomb Kings is like being a diehard Harlequin player. No one ever cares about your faction. You never get new releases. You never get a new codex. But you're really good if you play it well. That was literally what being a Tomb Kings player was. Also, Eldar, your sister faction, vampires in my case, they get everything. And you have to watch. That's what it was. This is really hard. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this in 15 minutes. There's only 4 pieces, but like...
You need the instructions?
No, I don't want that. I want to see if I can do this. Oh, I get it. He sits really low on his body. He's very hunched over. Nurgle. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Seeds?
Nurgle does Nurgle things.
Nurgle does Nurgle things. Well said. What faction do you think you know the least about?
Lore-wise or rules-wise?
Either.
Rules-wise, Chaos Knights.
Yeah. What do you think about them?
I've played against them a bunch of times in tournaments, and it's just like, I'll like do a little quick lookup of what their Relic and Warlord trait does, and then just assume that they're knights that they can auto explode, they can do the not auto explode on 4-up, they can advance and charge, same type of stuff, rotate.
Mm-hmm.
But like the particulars, I don't know enough about.
They have different rules.
Yeah, they have different the Iconoclast households and the Dread households. I don't know what that does.
I gotcha. That's a good answer. I don't know what mine would be. I don't know any of the knights that well anymore. I used to know them decently when they're really popular. Yeah, maybe knights. Probably no knights at least these days. Or guard. I really don't understand anything about guard. They're not complicated. There's nothing to understand. They're just a bunch of guns.
Fall back and shoot?
Fall back and shoot. They can do that. No one told me.
John didn't. John didn't. That was awesome. Look on your face. That's an order?
What do you mean it's an order? Fall back. I just tied up 100 guardsmen with these hormigons. They're all going to shoot me? That game was so awful. Oh, this was a subscribe match from forever ago. I had to play 300 gaunts into like John's 300 guardsmen. Literally, like every model we could put on the table, we had to. Like, I painted gargoyles. It was a whole conundrum for this, and Did you know guardsman table gaunts? Did you know that in just a fist fight?
Well, the person who requested it is here. He's Lyle Dixon.
Lyle! Oh!
Just gave us a $5 super chat. Spent the weekend listening to Brad tell stories about Drunk Nick at the WTC. Desperately need to hear more Drunk Nick 40K stories.
Drunk Nick 40K stories are wonderful, and I could probably make it a successful business out of just telling those. But apparently I'm not allowed to do that on this channel. Because he's showing off this blue drone.
No, it's not. It's a commander.
They're all drones in my head.
Okay. But I appreciate the support, Lyle. You can always do a personal call through our website with Nick, and he will talk to you about whatever you want.
That's true. I have actually had people phone me to tell them drunk stories before. Like, that's a real thing. That's cool. Very flattered. So the cool thing about this Foulblight spawn, aside from the fact that he's a real Foulblight spawn, is that he's got a little Nurgling friend.
I do like the Nurgling friends.
Got them Seeks.
That's the best part of Mortarion.
Is all the Nurgling friends?
The Nurgling friends.
Yeah. They have 2d6 attacks. Is that still a thing? I don't remember. They used to have 2d6 attacks, and I could do like mortal wounds on 6s with them, and then like +1 wound, and they would do mortals on 5s, and they would have rerolls for the wound. It would actually do like a lot of damage.
I don't think so.
That's all gone.
I think they do it at D6 attacks. Yeah.
Look at him. He rotated. He keeps rotating.
Yeah, you put a lot of glue on there.
Yeah, I didn't
more than
mean
you needed to.
But sometimes the glue just gets away from you. Explodes a little bit.
Talk to me about Imatech the Stormlord, running him in a triple Catan list.
I tried him. He sucks.
He's a lot of points for... The Necron characters are just so bad in combat for no reason. In the lore, they are actually decent in combat. Not the fastest out there, but you don't want to mess with people like Imatech the Stormlord. But in the game, you can mess with Imatech the Stormlord. He's not very dangerous in combat.
It's not very dangerous.
You pay a ton of points for him. His mortal aura is what you're essentially paying the points for. Because if you're buffing Sawtech warriors, at that point, just buff Novak warriors. They're a lot better. Or you're buffing immortals for Sawtech, and immortals aren't great in this current meta, unfortunately. But Triple Catan, I don't feel is that great. I think there's too many armies that can do mortals in all different phases. Like Admech doesn't care, at all about Catan. They're just like, I can do mortals in 6 different phases. Could pick these up whenever I want. And then you have armies like Drukhari, which if they're running Hellions, they probably can also do that to you no problem. Just kill it in turn. So I don't feel like you can go into the game with that many bad matchups. So I haven't been playing with any more Triple Catan, honestly. It was fun testing those games though, because Catan are cool. They're wildly overpriced.
Yeah, they have a lot of good stuff going for them, but they can't carry the entire army on their back.
No, Sky of Falling Stars is not great in a transport meta either.
No, that's also a good point.
So I should just have 3 Plasmancers, is what you're saying?
Plasmancers. Honestly, 3 Plasmancers totally don't help. Catan. Does it?
You need line of sight still.
Oh,
it's 18-inch range, I believe.
No, those suck. 24 is when Smite really gets a
I don't know. The best thing Necrons have is Warriors. This is the best thing that they have. Warriors and Ghost Arcs. This is good.
I think so. I need to... Oh, I can use this to stab it with. This is smart. This is smart. See, I use too much glue. I'm trying to... leave me alone.
It's trying stuff.
Good enough.
He's done?
We got a Foulblight spawn and a Plague Burst
What's all
Scroll.
this other stuff?
I don't know. Accessories.
Oh boy. Well, Nick did some building.
Yes, we did.
It's a wild adventure.
We're here. We did it. We just added so many flamers to our army.
Is that going to be the guy with Vomitrix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
What's coming up, Nick? What do we got this week?
We got a lot of exciting stuff this week. Tomorrow, we got a YouTube game at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be it's a subscriber match. I'm actually playing Dark Eldar. Appreciate you. This
Kyle?
is Matto. This is Kyle. Kyle, appreciate you, Kyle. You are enabling me to whoop John's Tyranids. He's busting out some different Nid stuff. He's tried the Democarons and Dark Eldar. That just doesn't work. He's going to try some Hormagaunts and like all kinds of hoardy nonsense. I might try out my Real Space Raiders build, so it should be really interesting. I gotta build a list.
Then on Thursday, we've got me playing Tau into Mr. Jack Harpster, his debut on YouTube, playing Chaos.
Ooh.
And then in the War Room, we have a new tournament stress testing game where I am going to be putting my 6-flyer Admech build into Nick's Drukhari, whatever he's going to come up with for that. And this is for Atlantic City practice. And then John's going to put his Ultramarines into it. And we're going to see if Nick can defend against that firepower.
I can defend the firepower.
We'll find out. So that's going to be on Thursday in the War Room. And then is the Meta Monday chat with Brad on this YouTube channel? It is in the War Room through our website. So if you signed up for the War Room, you can access it through sign into your account on the website, and then go ahead and click over to videos, and you'll see the Meta Monday. Click on that, and the video will appear when it's supposed to go live. Mm-hmm. And you can always go back and rewatch it if you need to. Feel free to ask questions in advance in the Facebook group or questions live on the website. And yeah, do either of you feel like orcs could be really well in the meta?
I think you can make orcs decent if you want to do like 18 smasher guns and just spam vehicles and countercharging stuff and boys. I don't think it's particularly that interesting. It's really just taking the efficient units you have and spamming them and hoping that's good enough. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't be.
Yeah, I don't think they're consistent enough.
Not consistent, yeah.
That's their problem. But they are going to get new stuff. We've seen Games Workshop preview.
We got orcs riding squigs. I'm very excited for orcs riding squigs.
So thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Really appreciate your support. Speaking of the War Room, we're going to send you off to a little preview of the content we do in there in our promo video. We'll see you next time.
Competitive 40K and become a member of the world's most knowledgeable and positive community.
The War Room is an exclusive group that brings together the world's best 40K players as coaches to help anyone from a newer player to an experienced tournament veteran learn, grow, and reach their goals within our shared hobby.
Each week we offer a variety of live stream coaching matches centered around illuminating the thought process and in-game decision making of top players. We explain everything we're doing and why.
You'll learn about the ever-evolving meta, match play mission theory, list making, and discussion of every faction in the game, and have access to analysis of all the latest rules. Our team of highly experienced coaches teach weekly clinics on each individual faction, strategy sessions on deployment and cool tricks, and meta-analyses each week during Meta Monday.
We are committed to not only providing the best knowledge for players available, but also building a one-of-a-kind community.
Come be a part of the War Room.